This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. We've got your back. The F&M Long Island Association urging MP Adrian Gibson to hold on, stay firm. Dome residents expected to vacate by the end of the summer in Abaco. And the government wants a new private sector minimum wage by the end of the year. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, June 24th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking with the group Dynamic Youth in Action. You've heard the founder call into the show a few times. We're going to talk to her in depth this morning. And later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about real estate in the Bahamas, the trends, what's hot, what's not. We're going to get into it all with Bria President this morning. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, amid rumblings among some Long Islanders that their elected MP, Adrian Gibson, should give up his seat after being charged in relation to alleged corruption at Water and Sewage Corporation, the F&M's Long Island Association has written to constituents expressing full support of Gibson. The association, in a letter stating, quote, MP, we got your back, stand tall. It also advised Long Islanders that a petition being circulated seeking to have the Long Island seat of the House of Assembly vacated is not from the F&M constituency office. It said that the Long Island constituency and constituents are not in a dilemma. It says Gibson is our duly elected Free National Movement Member of Parliament, elected September 16, 2021, for 5 years or until the House of Assembly is dissolved. Being charged in a court does not warrant a resignation from Parliament, as the MP is innocent until proven guilty. The association also stating that it is a criminal offense to pretend you are someone you are not. There is only one Long Island constituency office, and any unauthorized person submitting information under the constituency name and banner is involving themselves in a criminal act. The F&M Association also said the petitions did not put the MP in and sure can't take him out. That's a quote. A senior association member told the National Guardian that, quote, we just wanted to get the story right because the PLP was sending out one letter. So we just put out our own on our letterhead to let the people know we're behind Mr. Gibson. Residents in central, southern, and eastern New Providence being advised by the Water and Sewage Corporation that they may be experiencing periods of reduced water pressure over the next the next day or so, due to the corporation's Blue Hills desalination facility experiencing extended periods of substantially reduced water production volumes. In a statement, the corporation said this happened on Monday and will continued through Thursday. It said that during this period, strategic storage levels fell, and that the failure was initiated by a lightning strike and was compounded by a super power surge, which overwhelmed the integration of lightning arresters and other control prevention systems. Director of Labor Robert Farquharson says the government aims to have a new minimum wage for the private sector by the end of the year. He said the government has received the recommendation from the National Tripartite Council on the increase. He says the process is ongoing and that it's before the government and that the government intends to go out for additional consultation with the private sector before a decision is made. The government hopes that people living in temporary domes in Spring City, Abaco will vacate by the end of summer. That's according to Disaster Reconstruction Authority Executive Chairman Alex Dorr. Transport and Housing Minister JoBeth Colby Davis said last week the government will soon give notice to those residents. When asked about the deadline for those residents to vacate, Storr says that there's a task force dealing with that, but no firm date has been determined. But they're hoping it is before the end of the summer. Storr says the domes at the site will likely be disassembled and stored until Cabinet makes a final decision on their use. And the provisions for asylum seekers in the draft Nationality, Immigration, and Asylum Bill 2018 would be impossible for a small country like the Bahamas to implement. That's according to Attorney General Ryan Pinder. He said this was why he recommended, over the objection of some in the Office of the Attorney General, that they separate the bill and deal with the issue of citizenship and equal rights. Pinder was asked about the issue of illegal immigration in the Senate. He said the government does not want to mix its political mandate to move forward with matters relating to equality and the complex issue of asylum. The Nationality, Immigration, and Asylum Bill 2018 was drafted under the Minnis administration. Several drafts of the bill were made. It was never tabled in Parliament. Overseas, after weeks of ferocious fighting, Ukrainian forces will retreat from a besieged city in the country's east to avoid encirclement. That's according to a regional governor speaking today. The city of Severodonetsk, the administrative center of the Luhansk region, has faced relentless Russian bombardment. Ukrainian troops fought the Russians in house-to-house battles before retreating to a huge chemical factory on the city's edge, where they holed up in its sprawling underground structures. In recent days, Russian forces have made gains around the city and neighboring cities on a steep bank across a river in a bid to encircle Ukrainian forces. The Luhansk governor says the Ukrainian troops have been given the order to leave the city to prevent that. Ukrainian forces have received the order to retreat to new positions and continue fighting from there. The officers are saying that Russians were also advancing towards nearby cities, adding that Russian reconnaissance units conducted forays on the city's edges, but were driven out by defenders. In sports, Bahamian professional women's basketball player Jonquil J.J. Jones scoring 12 points and grabbing 11 boards, but it was not enough as the Connecticut Sun fell 81-71 to the New York Liberty. This was on Wednesday night. That loss coming on the same day. ESPN's Katie Barnes did a feature story on Jones. Jones opening up about her money, sexuality, marketability, and her journey to the top, among other topics. As for the loss, it represented the first time that the Sun lost 2 games in a row this season. They lost on Sunday, 71-63 to the Washington Mystics, snapping a 2-game winning streak. The Sun now sport a 12-6 win-loss record for the season, dropping a spot to 3rd in the league standings. And from the NBA draft last night, the question for weeks leading into the draft was whether the first pick would be Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, or Jabari Smith Jr. The answer finally coming last night, even as Banchero didn't know, until moments before the announcement from the Orlando Magic selection. After leading the Blue Devils to the Final Four, the 6'10" forward was called first by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver last night to begin the draft, beating out fellow first-year forwards Smith and Holmgren. The order had been debated throughout the process, with Smith often considered the player who would go number 1. Instead, he wasn't even second, falling behind Holmgren to Houston at number 3. All the players picked looked thrilled, with Banchero saying and being among those crying or coming close as they hugged family and friends. The Magic were picking first for the 4th time, and they've done well with their previous choices. They took Shaquille O'Neal in 1992, traded the rights to Chris Webber for Penny Hardaway the next year, and went with Dwight Howard in 2004. All eventually reached the NBA Finals with the Magic. Holmgren went second to the Oklahoma City Thunder after the 7-footer led the West Coast Conference in blocked shots, rebounding, and shooting percentage at Gonzaga. He looked sharp in his black suit, and the Rockets were happy to end up with Smith, who has the skills to go higher. The 6'10" forward from Auburn is a natural fit in the current NBA game, able to defend all 3 front court positions and with a shooting stroke that allowed him to hit 42% before the arc. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got weak ridging across the area that will maintain a typical summer pattern and gentle breezes across the country. Meanwhile, a late seasonal frontal boundary across Florida will begin to sink southwards, promoting a more active weather pattern over portions of the northern islands by tonight. Boaters should be alert for water spouts, and everybody's again being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities during peak afternoon hours as heat indices are expected to soar again into the triple digits. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly sunny to sunny, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and afternoon thunderstorms, becoming mostly fair and warm with a few showers and thunderstorms across the extreme northwest Bahamas tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds variable at 10 knots or less in the northwest and central islands, shifting east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times in the southeastern islands. Seas 1 to 3 feet, occasionally building to 2 to 4 feet in the southeast Bahamas. It's about 77 degrees right now. Nassau, look for highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius, but it will feel a lot hotter. That heat index up to 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. What will the weekend look like? We'll tell you about that and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit. It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Imagine driving your dream car, doing all the things you never thought you could, like perfecting your parallel parking skills, or picking up your date. Everyone loves to dream. Stop dreaming. Start driving with a brand new offer from Scotiabank. With an auto loan from Scotiabank, benefit from no payments for up to 2 months, a low interest rate, up to 9 years to repay, and free insurance for the first year, up to 2.5% of the loan amount. Promotion ends June 30th, 2022. Stop dreaming and start driving today with an auto loan from Scotiabank.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, AP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean. Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Nassau Tile is having its annual inventory sale. That's right. From June 25th, you can save up to 25% off selected 12 by 24-inch porcelain tiles and take 20% off store-wide on all tile, synthetics. Our tile experts are ready to guide you in selecting the right tiles for your kitchen backsplash, living room, bathroom, and patio. So, don't miss out. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom at 43 Dowsville Street and save big with Nassau Tile, where the world is at your feet.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 Absolute Smart Talk, all day.
Wake up today. Wake up today. Start of a new way. You know that this is start of the end of the old way. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I am Dwight Strachan. Join me now, Stephen Hanna. Good morning, Stephen Hanna.
Hey, what's up?
Hope you're doing well on this Friday.
Good.
Okay, wonderful stuff. All right, we have a lot to talk about this morning, and we'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. Coming up on the show a little bit later in our 8 o'clock hour, we'll be talking with the group Dynamic Youth in Action. We've been impressed with the founder of the group. She's called in a few times and very passionate, and we're going to find out more about them. The celebrating anniversary, I believe today is an important day for them, and so we're glad you're going to be sharing in that with them. And later in our 9 o'clock Morning Blend Business Hour, we're going to be talking about real estate in the Bahamas, the trends. You saw something recently said it was a seller's market. What does that mean if you are in the market for property, for a home? Will you be able to afford anything? We're going to be talking about that and more coming up in Morning One Business. So a lot to get to, but there's a lot to talk about in the news. And in the news, you can hear more about this in our 8 o'clock newscast, but the police are investigating the country's latest murder. It happened around 8 o'clock last night on Pine Yard Road, shooting death, and we'll get all the details about that coming up. And we told you about Water and Sewage Corporation. They're saying lightning strike is going to cause some water issues this week. And this is practically everybody. They say residents in central, southern, and eastern New Providence. I think that's where most of the population is on New Providence, so that's pretty much everybody. But yeah, so that's what we're dealing with this week. And then this is something, report card day. I think that was it supposed to be yesterday? Well, there's been
I don't know, Dwight. I'm not in school.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a delay. A technical problem has caused a delay in issuing the report cards. And
That's what a lot of thinking I should do.
Sorry?
No, I mean, I'm thinking about the kids who had bad grades.
It's going to bring, a temporary reprieve?
Sometimes that's all you need.
Oh, okay.
Just need another day.
Oh, boy. Well, they get 14 more. And so this is going to be, oh, boy. Students in grades 1 through 11 will not be able to get their report cards. The education minister saying that, well, at least the ministry saying in a statement that the collection of report cards for grades 1 through 11 for all public schools will be delayed 14 days so as to address technical challenges related to report card generation encountered in the ministry's learning management system. The ministry will provide specific details on the date and hours of report card collection in due course. The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training has consulted with the Bahamas Union of Teachers, the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union, and the Bahamas Educators Counselors and Allied Workers Union, and apologizes for the inconvenience to students, teachers, and all relevant stakeholders. Parents will have the option to receive report cards either by hard copy or digitally.
When it's ready?
Whenever they notify them that it's ready, yes. Huh, boy, what a school year this has been, eh? Wow.
You mean what's half a decade called? Because it's not been a school year. It's been for the past 2 years.
3 years. 2-3 school years. Yeah.
We going on 5 years of weirdness.
Yeah, you are right. And again, we keep asking, what will be the mid to long-term consequences of this? Who are these folks going to be when they enter the workforce? Some of them have already done so. And that
well, anyway, not to push my own personal agenda, but this is where things like culture come in, because a lot of the things that we consider, so school teaches kids a whole lot, not just math and English, but it also acclimatizes them to how to interact with other people, a bunch of different stuff. But school isn't supposed to be the only place. They're supposed to get that at home. They're supposed to get that at, if they go to church or a religious organization, they're supposed to get that from the general community. They're supposed to get that from cultural stuff. And so when one of the legs fails, the other legs, it's going to be incumbent on them to make sure that this person becomes as much as possible a proper contributing member of society. And so hopefully the other legs are steady.
You know they're not, but okay.
But you have to say it. Like you have to say it.
You have to hope. You have got to have hope.
Right, because then what's going to happen is because you listen to the radio every time we talk about schools and stuff, or we talk about students and children. The people who are like, well, I don't have no children, or my child is straight or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or people call and say, "They do this, school needs to do that."
Yeah,
the parents need to do this, but it's like it's not just that, because if you are a parent and you work 9 to 5, you're out of the house half of the day. Half of the 24 hours of the day, you're out of the house because you have to leave to go to work. And then you have to travel to get back home and all this other stuff. You barely spend any time with your child, except maybe on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And that's in an ideal situation where you're not so exhausted or you don't have 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. All right? So to say, oh, well, it's all on the parents are a part of it. But if we are saying as society, we want these people in society, then society has to play a part as well.
Yeah.
And one of those things is culture, because right now what's happening is that the kids aren't at school. So as simple or as silly as we might think things like social studies are, and why would they teach us who the Minister of Housing is in 1997 when I was in school, those things help you out in life later. 15, 20 years down the road, you kind of have a better understanding of how the world works, how the government works, all this different stuff. But culture also helps. So right now, what we have instead of that, we have television raising the kids. Well, not television, the internet raising the kids. And so you kind of need, you don't want them to just be on that, because that is about making a profit, and that is not about instilling any sort of pride or anything with behemoth values in it. So we, as a community, through these various legs, have to go and we have to step up, because we know that there are inefficiencies inside certain important legs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll continue to follow this story for you, report cards, and keep you posted on what's going on there. This came out yesterday. Did you hear about it? The official list of activities for Independence. Only a few weeks ago. The calendar is out. We'll quickly read some of these.
Did you say the theme?
I don't see the theme. No, what is the theme?
Isn't the theme Proud to Be Here?
Oh, that's the theme? Oh,
I assume it is, because that's what's on the top of it.
Well, okay. I mean,
if it's not the theme, it's the motto or the logo. Well, yeah, I think it's the theme.
Okay, sure. Proud to be Bahamian. Okay, I mean that. Yes, we certainly are.
You say
But it's just that's like I love the Bahamas. That's like that type of theme. Like what is that? Is that a theme? Okay, but hey, it's beautiful.
That's a strong sentiment.
Straight to the point. You remember the one that was a few years ago about how only by the grace of God we've made it this far? Yeah, that was
horrible.
Was it horrible? Because it is so true. Because seriously,
yeah, but that one also sounded.
It was also crazy. Yes,
we was on the precipice of dying.
Oh, you better believe it. But now,
listen, don't get me wrong. I fully understand the impetus. I think I participated that year. But I had
to laugh every time I saw it. Only by the grace of God we've made it this far.
Right, because it doesn't, when you say it aloud, it doesn't sound the same as you think it sounds, or as it might sound inside a smaller grouping of people.
Oh, so you're saying you were part of the group that approved that? Is that what you're saying?
I was not a part of the group that approved that. I was not. When I said I participated that year, because I think that was 2021 or 2020.
I think it was before the pandemic.
No, it was,
maybe 19.
It was chosen before the pandemic, but it led into the pandemic.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the 2021, if I remember correctly. I did a video for independence. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, proud of me, Beeman. Well, all these things are supposed to be rhetorical devices that are supposed to make you say, well, what does that mean to me? Or do I relate to that? In which regard?
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I sometimes think it's really a waste of time, a theme for the. But hey,
No. Once again, it's not like I said that was a theme. Let me not speak on behalf of them. I'm
But
not a part
themes
of
in general.
any planning committee or whatever. But you have to have a direction in which you're going.
oh yeah,
Yeah, you can't just like even if you have a party, there's a difference between a birthday party and a wedding shower or a baby shower. So you gotta have a theme.
that's a one-time event. But
Yeah,
for
but there's still a theme.
series,
There's a theme and there's a direction that you'll go, even if
the theme is Bahamian independence.
that's not
Mm.
okay.
But anyway,
Yes.
let's read the list of the things that are going to be happening. So July
away.
1st, National
No
Pride
music?
Day. You got some. Hey, let's see. Can we pull up the song "Proud to Be Bahamian"? Producer, let's play that underneath the list that we're about to read.
Play it low underneath.
Yeah. Why not? 49th
Say,
anniversary. No. I love it. I mean, but I thought that was just in general. That should be the running theme. The always permanent theme. Proud to be Bahamian. But that's great. Here we go. Let's pull up a little bit, and then I'll start talking. Gotta wait for it to start singing.
Yeah, it's coming.
Oh, this is a long part before the singing.
I think you should start.
Okay.
It's a wild one.
We only have so much show. Okay,
Yeah.
so the activities. July 1st, National Pride Day. You keep it in. Yeah. National Pride Day, and you're asked to rep your Androsia or Bahamian print. Okay. July 2nd is National Day of Community Service. Oh, boy.
That's interesting.
They need to start
That should be a whole
dealing with
week-long
that
thing.
now. I mean, that's next week, right? You got to okay. Yeah, they got to get cracking on that one to get people to sign up to do things. July 3rd is the annual Beat Retreat. July 5th, the Distinguished Lecture Series. July 6th, National Day of Wellness. July 7th through 11th, the Babe Ruth Caribbean Championship. That's going to be at the stadium. Is that stadium ready?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking everybody. I mean, that's in 2 weeks.
Well, in 2 weeks it will be.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, folks. Yeah, that's good. Interesting. July 8th, National Flag Day. Represent your Bahamian flag colors. Now, is that we're going to have a permanent national flag? Are we going to have a flag day permanently? Because we're one of the few countries that doesn't, right? Doesn't have a flag day. I keep saying 242 Day could have been our flag day.
I'll be in February or?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yeah. No, it'll be
the
February
24th.
24th. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no 42nd month.
All right. July 9th is the Ecumenical Service, the Cultural Explosion, and Flag-Raising Ceremony. And that will lead into July 10th. And on the 10th, we'll have the official announcement of the National Honors recipients and the Independence Gospel Explosion. And July 11th, that's the observed day for the holiday, National Independence State Reception and the People's Junkanoo Love and Unity Rush. July 14th is the Folk Dance and Drum Show. July 15th, the National Support of Bahamian Artisan Day. Rep your straw. Okay. July 15th, also the Couture and Culture Fashion Show. And July 16th, the Bahamas Cook-Off Festival. So it sounds like a little bit of everything for everybody. And should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll hear more about the activities soon. And
they're
yeah.
hitting all of the cultural points because once again, culture isn't what you remember. Culture is what you do.
Yep. So that's good.
Food and dance and what is it? Food, dance, dress. A couple things there. Music, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So and then that's going to lead us into the big 5-0 next year, and sounds like that may be a year-long celebration, which it should be. and even after that, right? So great stuff.
That will be like, boom.
Yeah.
Or like, or, exclamation point.
Right. Explosion. We used that word twice in that list. So, yeah. Okay. A couple text messages about this. Someone says here, great show as usual. Dwight, question, how cricket get the national sport? They don't even teach that in school. They don't even play it in school.
Is cricket
It's
still the national sport?
Yeah.
Because I've heard more than once that we're moving towards making it sailing.
They've been moving toward that since I was 2. And I don't know what's going on. How long does it take? Do you have to petition the UN or something? What is the problem? Just declare it so. What is the issue? What's going on? But it definitely should be cricket. I still wonder if it should be sailing. But it definitely should not be cricket.
Well, you know why? The reason why sailing makes sense is because we're archipelago. Bahamas is not just New Providence. And and boats connect the islands for the most part. You know? So
I get it.
Even if you don't own a boat like most people, sailing still
can't sail and can't swim like most people there.
But that's the thing. When it becomes the national sport, then there's going to be a push for that.
Like we did with cricket.
Well, once again, the fact that you went to a school that didn't love you, I didn't teach you cricket.
Are you trying to tell me that you did cricket in school, Stephen?
I did cricket. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the insects now. I mean, what are you talking about?
I played cricket in PE at Princeville.
Well, that school's always been special, but okay,
yeah, that's right. Unique, a notch above the rest.
More than once.
Don't nitpick, Dwight. Don't nitpick.
Oh wait, no, that's significant. Was it one time that they said, "Hey, fun day, we're gonna do something called cricket"?
No, it was me.
I think it's
through all the sports.
So one time
we stuck with
because we did badminton one time, maybe twice.
That's not even a national sport.
No one said it was. I'm just saying. So we all go through the sports. We did bowling, okay. But
that sounds like a fun day.
Oh, it was. But cricket, okay.
It's actually an interesting game, but that's neither here nor there.
If you can understand it,
sailing is the future as well as the present as well as the past, and so what will happen, or what will have to happen if it becomes a national sport, then we're going to have either a greater investment in that. We're going to have young persons in all schools, whether it's private or public, having access to sailing clubs or boats and swimming lessons, all these different things that do benefit us in other ways, in other regards, because and even like when you had on the different stuff, like we know that swimming, and almost every couple of years, we hear about some tragedy of some child who couldn't swim, who was on the beach or something. So it's like all these things, they're going to tie together because we live in the water, and so it's not, I feel like sailing is a move in the right direction.
Okay. I agree. Will all those things you talk about, which are definitely necessary, will all those things come along with it? I don't know. And I have a feeling that isn't part of the plan, but I hope they're listening. I hope they're listening.
All those different things I talked about do not require necessarily the government to write a check. They're all sorts of private individuals and companies that are just walking around with their pockets are too heavy for them. And they're looking for ways to contribute to society. These are ways. These are ways that you could get a return on your investment, because now when you give C.R. Walker a fleet of ships, or when you give L.W. Young a fleet of boats, or you build a pool for, you can go and show people, it's like, this is what we did. And they'll put your name on it. There'll be the Hannes Hardware pool or whatever it is, This is a good investment from a business perspective, but also for the community.
Yeah. This texter says they don't believe you, Stephen. He played cricket in school. I don't believe that. I think he played bat and ball. That's what I believe.
No, who they could ask? They could ask Levin.
Who?
Leaving Miller.
Oh, okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Stephen. Good morning to those who wake up in the line of living. I hope you had something more to your chest. Dwight, okay, we have, we have, what I call legends in this country when it comes to sports. Okay, name me one person, Bahamian person name stands out as a legend or a person who contributed as a Bahamian to cricket. His name is still in the ears of the majority of Bahamian people.
The only cricketer I know is Jiminy. Is Jiminy?
Ivan Johnson wasn't a cricketer?
Who? It's not even up for debate. This thing has got to go. It's got to go. No one supports cricket being the national sport of the Bahamas.
I was trying to answer the question.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty sure that Ivan Johnson played cricket. I could be wrong, but I'm almost 100% certain.
But even Stephen, if Ivan Johnson was cricket, you had no longer than a couple of days ago, you had persons like Klay Thompson, you know, because of his achievement with the NBA. Even not even talking about John Clell Jones, even though she might be in the spotlight. They are sports figures, Bahamian sports figures, buddy. We don't have nothing but no cricket people. And I think that it's high time they do make sailing as our number one sport. The simple fact is, what's the gentleman name who passed away who won us? I think he's on Knowles who won us the gold medal.
Sir Durwood.
So, right. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you have like persons who gone on like King Eric, Roddy Gray. Come on, man. You know, but this year, you hear any cricket tournaments? You hear any cricket tournaments coming on? No.
Well, they're happening, but most people don't care.
Right,
so,
most definitely.
Yeah.
And I tell you the truth, I can't even tell you the day last I see someone play cricket. No, I would be not saying it like that. But the last time I ever saw someone playing cricket was by the Haynes Place. You know the Haynes Place across the road from Iraqi?
Yeah.
And that was very, very long time ago.
Yeah, it still happens. It still happens.
Push it, Dwight. You know, you have the platform. You know, push it that.
I mean, everyone is resolved. It's already been. Everybody says it is going to be sailing. We just don't know why it takes so long. What is the problem? This is very weird.
Dwight, you have the platform. Just keep reminding them. You know, sometimes you got to remind the government. So you got to continue to do it because I could be honest. Every couple months is a regatta. And, you know, cricket. So, you know, that's a cricket. That was maybe a crook. So get that out of the country.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Well, this texter said it should be any of those. They say, I think it should be track and field or basketball.
But see, here's the thing, right? And whereas those things are the most celebrated, if we're talking about something, the one that brings the most people together.
Track and field certainly does that.
No. Track and field only brings people together when we win internationally. We don't attend the track meets locally to the same level of enthusiasm that we attend regatta.
Now, please stop. Now, some people are watching. People are watching the sailing, but most people go to the regattas to party. So
you can phrase it however you want.
If you had the party type atmosphere at a track and field event, it would be filled to capacity.
But also, here's the thing, Dwight. The last 3 regattas I've been to, like I was also anticipating it's just gonna be a bunch of drunk people, and there were those, but that really happened as the evening ended and the boat sailing ended. There are a significant portion of the people who actually attend regattas actually watching the races. Where was that? That was in Exuma. When we was in Exuma. They had the kids from the primary school watching the race, and they were watching it enthusiastically. Same thing in Long Island. They were like, people are actively watching it, actively debating and rowing who gonna be the first person out or this person doing something wrong. And so, I'm not.
Okay, so here's the thing. So in other countries, the national sport or pastime is something that every little kid does with their board, or right? Generally, you see them kicking a soccer ball down the alleyway or throwing a baseball around or whatever.
Because they're imitating it. It's not picked.
Okay, but that's what they're doing it. When they're free, they do it. And I mean, I have no issue with sailing being the national sport. No issue at all. But when people are running and racing each other all the time as kids, and people play basketball even as adults when they are get off from work, everybody seems to do around here.
Honestly, I mean, here's the thing. I understand what you're saying. I understand your argument, and I get it. But at the same time, with sailing, I feel like sailing has a lower bar of entry to participate in the entire machinery. And I think it may have more enthusiasm around it as well as more cultural significance than basketball or even baseball.
Again, I have no issue. As long as it's not cricket, we're good. We're good.
And here's the thing. I could be wrong, but I think that part of the reason why it isn't just like a flick of the pen, and you know like how every couple of months there'll be this little quarter-page ad inside the newspaper saying, whereas the Prime Minister recognizes that something, whereas blah, 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 today is International Paperclip Day, right? Because the reason why you haven't had one of those for sailing being the national sport is because perhaps, I hope inside my heart, that it's so that it isn't just in word only, so that it has some level of structure to say, okay, this is how we're going to make sure that it's the national sport.
I would tend to agree, but obviously because of the way we've neglected cricket, obviously that cannot be the case, right?
Because we never won it. That was a holdover from
well, people are texting in about how people used to play it a lot and all these names of who used to play. So there was enthusiasm for it, apparently,
right, but it's
decades
down.
ago. But it was never fostered. It was not right. They don't teach it in schools except for
I
barely
imagine
Prince
that
Will.
it would die down as we got further and further away from as we became older and older in our independence, it became less and less in vogue, I would imagine.
Let's take this call and then we got to move on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Early days of Strachan was along with you and Stephen Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
We need justice, law, and order in this country. But Dwight, let me ask you something. I think should be what do you think should be the national sport?
Again, I have no issue with sailing. I think, and Stephen's right, that could foster a lot of things that we're not doing right now, getting people to swim, getting more people interested in sailing, and I think that will be fine. It looks good.
Inter-island travel.
Yeah, we are an archipelago. It would make sense. It would make sense.
See, because the thing is, I used to play cricket. I don't know if you all remember. You all may be too young to remember a guy called C.A. or Bob Taylor. We used to play cricket. I was a youngster then, 13, 14 years old, okay? And it never, not only that, before I go there, that was what you call the Barbadian sport. Basically, only the Barbadians people used to play cricket. They brought that here in the Bahamas after being recruited to be police here. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was their sport. But, we copied it, okay? And as we got that kind of publicity, pertaining to it. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, every island has sailing. Every island in the Bahamas, they have sailing, they had sailing, and the youngsters were put into sailing and sculling, okay? So I think sailing, which is boating, the same thing, should be our national sport.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And Dwight, could you imagine, right, in a world, because right now, I don't have a boat, you don't have a boat, but that's because, we can't afford the 40-foot yachts that we rightly deserve. But if we could get to a point where we, as Bahamians, everybody has access or know somebody who has a wind-powered, so it's this clean energy. You imagine how easy it'd be to get to a place like Andros. And imagine if we have a real maritime, it's not just I occasionally go to Pawtucket Dock for conch salad, but an actual maritime culture running throughout the country, throughout the veins of every Bahamian. Imagine how that would open up the country, because now suddenly people don't look at it and say, well, I only could go to this island or that island on the plane if it's available during this time, or I don't want to go in no meal, but now if we have a real maritime culture, it changes the dynamic. So now it's like the same way in America, people have road trips. I can imagine people saying, "Oh, well, we going on a boat cruise," and in quotation marks, boat cruise, from one island to the next island.
Yeah,
we going on a boat cruise to Eleuthera this weekend. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to change the dynamics of how different family islands function if they know, you know, the Nassau people is come down here during this time.
Yeah, we could have been so far along if we'd done this when we first said we would do it, and that was, again, decades ago now.
And so that's why we got to start now. I see ample opportunity here.
Hopefully the people who can make a difference see it as well. Please do it. Good luck with that. Let me read this before we go to the break. This person says here, we need to petition for the West Indies and England or Pakistan to play a demonstration match here so we can see what real cricket looks like. Pair it with some great prizes for fans like free tickets and flights to the next Test series, a car, nights at Atlantis or Bahamar. Would it work?
If we doing all that, we might as well just go into, let's just do sailing. I don't know why you try to revive a dead sport.
Listen, Texter, do it. I mean, it doesn't. Do it. It doesn't need to be our national sport, but fine. Yeah, let's see how it's really done. I mean, I hear these games could go on for days. I don't know who's going to be into that, but okay. All right.
And here's the other thing what they don't tell you, right? I hear you saying that people only go to regatta to get drunk.
I didn't say that. I say a lot of people are there for the party.
Right. I mean, yeah. Listen, I say it too all the time, right? But the truth of the matter is, for most sports, particularly propelled by people going there to buy alcohol, right? And the same thing applies for cricket. The same thing applies for baseball, right? All these different sports, there's a reason why they sell alcohol at all the games, right? And once again, that's not even just to say it's only to sports, because the same thing happens if you go see a stage play or if you go to these high class movie theaters, right? Everybody sells liquor because some things are helpful if you're not actually participating in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's a long situation.
Well, perhaps soccer, but I mean the other things are just trying to make money off the added. You can charge more for
baseball.
For the alcohol.
Does not make sense. So
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, so name one baseball fan that doesn't drink.
What? That is not related. Those two things. There are a bunch of baseball fans who don't drink. They're a bunch. That's crazy. But just because you drink, wow. Okay, let me read these messages. Somebody says here, the same person who said we should do that to get people to see how it says, we lose sight of the forest for the trees. Soccer has roughly 3.5 billion fans worldwide, 250 million players across 200 countries. The next most popular sport in the world is cricket with 2.5 billion fans, and then basketball and field hockey. Oh, that's great. I mean, we love that the rest of the world loves and understands cricket. We don't. And
once again, this isn't, like you said, Dwight, this isn't to say cricket is now banned. You could have cricket here.
Man. I want it to grow.
Right.
Teach it in schools, but it shouldn't be our national sport.
Right. If we're talking about national sport, the national sport needs to hit certain criteria, and it has to be culturally relevant is definitely one of the primary criteria.
And I've tried. I've gone at least 2 or 3 times to Haynes Oval to try to understand. I've had strangers try to explain it to me. I've had our sports guy, Simba French, has tried to explain it to me. It sounds like he's speaking a different language.
Because you gotta see how many runs you get back and forth.
And the people keep running back and forth. Like, what's going on? Why is that guy still there? Why is that team still in? They've been in for 2 hours. What's happening? Don't the other guys get to go? They had to call the game because I think it was 100 to something. I don't know. I'm like, well, what's happening here? That's insane. Insane.
But here's the thing. I'm not arguing that things can be different, right? But it has to have cultural relevance. And cultural relevance doesn't, I mean, it isn't necessarily that everybody finds it fun, but it has, where does it find?
Yeah. No one's making a case for cricket. Maybe that person. So
no, I mean, cricket can exist, but I don't think it's as the national sport it needs to exist. That's like saying, why not chess? You know, there's a lot of money to be made.
But no one's arguing, Stephen. It's resolved. everybody, 90%, 95% of the population doesn't know
Sailing.
why cricket is the national sport of this country.
It's higher than that.
Probably.
It's like 98%.
I was trying to
That's
be,
about right.
like I have not done a study, but I'm pretty sure it's in the 90% range, right? This person says, when we stop swearing to the Queen and her heirs and successors, then sailing will become the national sport. I don't think that's how it works, but okay. Cricketers, Wen T. Ford, Edmund Lewis, Irvin Armstrong, Llewellyn Armstrong, yes, Ivan Johnson. People saying all these were great cricketers here in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I'm not debating that they don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
There were great bowlers in the Bahamas. They were great. I'm sure that we could find a great skier, Didn't we have a person who was Olympic Winter Games as a snowboarder at one point?
I'm not aware of that.
We have great athletes of everything. But that doesn't necessarily mean that sport should be held in high regard because a small segment of the population is good at it.
Yeah. This person says here, well, why do we have the Bahamas Bowl? We don't play American football like that. The idea is we're trying to attract fans from across the world. Yeah, we think that's a great idea.
More people play American football in the Bahamas than play cricket.
True. But this is the same texture with the bringing
I know.
in.
I know that
we agree that's a great idea. I'd actually go. I would go to watch that. I would go to see it, and you don't even have to entice me with the car. I mean, that would be good. But sure. Why not? But that doesn't mean it should be the national sport. And
right.
Come on, Texter, Anyway, we got to take a break. When we come back, the big headline in the National Guardian today, we got your back. That's the F&M Long Island Association. They are telling Adrian Gibson to hold firm, stay on, don't quit, don't listen to the noise in the market. We are with you. We're going to get your reaction to all of that. And Family Islands.
We're going to talk with sailing. Let's talk with something sense. Let's talk about gas prices or something. Let's talk with something.
We'll get to all of that.
Not a crazy civic organization on a family island rowing about whether or not the president of the association or a member of the association should do whatever. Like, okay, cool, whatever.
Okay,
y'all do your thing in your corner.
Wow. Anyway, we'll get to that after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Proud to be a Bahamian. Proud to be a Bahamian, yes. God gave this land to me.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Coronavirus update. I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Dr. Anthony Fauci says if you want to know how well the COVID him.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's feeling quite fine and recovering after testing positive for the coronavirus. The nation's top infectious disease expert is 81.
I think I'm an example, given my age, of what we're all talking about today. I'm vaccinated. I'm doubly boosted, and I believe if that were not the case, I very likely would not be talking to you looking as well as I look, I think.
At a White House briefing, Fauci said he began experiencing virus symptoms last week and tested positive a day later. He was prescribed the antiviral drug Paxlovid.
And I have now finished Paxlovid, and I'm still feeling really quite fine.
Paxlovid has proven to be highly effective in preventing serious illness and death from the virus.
All is well with Fauci, and thank you for asking.
Ed Donahue, Washington.
And I'm Rita Foley.
Time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card in your real-time traffic this morning. The hotspot, as usual, Mile Butler Highway, but not looking that bad this morning. Just about as you approach Harold Pond in the northbound lanes there, you'll see that line of traffic in front of you heading up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. And we are trying to make, there might be an issue in the northbound lane or further south of where that heavy traffic is. We will continue to watch that and find out what's going on there. But keep that in mind. The alternate routes might be better because of that and because they have less traffic, including Gladstone Road, just north of Munnings. That's where you'll see the traffic heading to JFK Drive. And Blue Hill Road not looking so bad, except for north of Soldier Road on the way over the hill to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Soldier Road is seeing some heavy traffic at the intersection at East Street, though that's eastbound mainly. And East-West Highway, Robinson Road, and Marathon, that roundabout there, that intersection there, especially northbound, seeing some traffic at this hour. Westbound on Carmichael, seeing some heavy traffic on the way to the roundabout with Coral Harbor Road, so keep that in mind if you are heading in that direction. That's what we're seeing so far. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic. And we've got another check of your weather for today, brought to you by BTC. We've got weak ridging across the area that will maintain a typical summer pattern and gentle breezes across the islands. Meanwhile, a late seasonal frontal boundary across Florida will begin to sink southwards, promoting a more active weather pattern over portions of the northern islands by tonight into the weekends. That means rain, folks. We'll tell you about that in a moment. Boaters, though, should be alert for possible waterspout activity, and everybody's being advised to remain hydrated during peak afternoon hours. Heat indices are expected to be in the triple digits again today. For all areas today, partly sunny to sunny, hot and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Afternoon thunderstorms becoming mostly fair and warm with a few showers and thunderstorms across the extreme northwest Bahamas by tonight. Temperatures getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. For your weekend, a wetter and increasingly unstable weather pattern will happen over the next couple of days as the frontal boundary weakens and eventually dissipates near the Bahamas. So for tomorrow, Saturday, variably cloudy, very warm and humid with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Sunday, partly cloudy and warm with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. In the tropics, we're watching a tropical wave over the eastern tropical Atlantic that continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms as the system continues to move towards the west. The system has a 40% chance, a medium chance now, of tropical cyclone 5 days, with a possibility of a depression forming by next week. Definitely something to watch. We'll keep you posted on that. But that is your morning blend weather check, brought to you by BTC. All BTC prepaid combos now include unlimited WhatsApp. Enjoy unlimited WhatsApp full, unlimited WhatsApp chat, unlimited WhatsApp video calls, unlimited WhatsApp calls, unlimited WhatsApp sharing. Visit any BTC location or WhatsApp or email their virtual store to activate today.
Are you an attorney with a joint practice operating from one location? Accepting payments from clients doesn't have to be complicated.
Introducing RBC MultiPay. Now each attorney can securely accept and settle payments with one point-of-sale device supporting multiple bank accounts.
With competitive pricing, training, and easy setup, you will be up and running in no time.
Call 356-8500 to sign up for RBC MultiPay.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How Team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
You're always on the road. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, first gotta be here. You can count on us. We make life easier. Accounts on anytime, a black or a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, first gotta be here.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Piggy Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, fat inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more. Say what? At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
You're always on the road. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, first gotta be here. You can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. A black or a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with UBC. First gotta be here.
That's right, boys and girls. Get ready to play basketball at the 34th Annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 4th through July 29th at the Kendall G. L. Isaacs Gym, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily. So parents, get your boys and girls ages 5 through 18 registered now. Applications available at the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, Tonic Williams Darling Highway, and at the registration desk at Campsite Kendall G. L. Isaacs Gym. Special appearances by NBA players, legends, and coaches. So get your boys and girls registered now, ages 5 through 18, for the 34th Annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 4th through July 29th.
$35,000?
What would you do with your share of $35,000?
Just spend $250 or more on any Scotiabank credit card
between March 15th and June 30th
for a chance to win your share of $35,000. The more you spend, the more chances you get to win.
There will be 3 winners of $10,000. It's so easy to enter. Don't miss your opportunity to win.
So what would you do?
Visit bs.scotiabank.com to learn more about how you can win.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And I say, boy, my island's in the sun, 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 sun.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. All right, so the headline in National Guardian, we got your back. National Long Association urging MB Adrian Gibson to hold firm. Our Canadians writing about it today. Amid rumblings among some Long Islanders that their elected member of Parliament, Adrian Gibson, should give up his seat after being charged in relation to alleged corruption at Water and Sewage Corporation, the F&M's Long Island Association has written to constituents expressing full support of Gibson. The association saying in a letter, quote, MP, we got your back. Stand tall. It also advised Long Islanders that a petition being circulated seeking to have the Long Island seat in the House of Assembly vacated is not from the F&M constituency office. It says the Long Island constituency and constituents are not in a dilemma. Mr. Adrian Gibson is our duly elected September 16, 2021, for 5 years or until the House of Assembly is dissolved. Being charged in a court does not warrant a resignation from Parliament, as the MP is innocent until proven guilty. The association added, quote, it is a criminal offense to pretend you are someone you are not. There's only one Long Island constituency office, and any unauthorized person submitting information under the constituency name and banner is involving themselves in a criminal act. The FNM Association also said that petitions did not put the MP in and sure can't take him out. Direct quote.
That's how you get on the ballot. You need a certain number of people who live in the constituency to sign and say something about you or whatever.
What?
It's not how you get nominated. You need people from the constituency. That's technically.
You mean in other parts of the world or in the future?
You can't. If I wanna run inside in Garden Hills, I need signatures from people who are registered voters in Garden Hills, don't I?
You mean as an independent? What are you talking about? I mean, the party puts who they want to put there.
I'm saying, but
the party says this is who we're sending, and you all better support him.
Regardless of whatever loopholes that the party is used to get whoever they want there, I'm saying, technically speaking, that is a petition. It's important. It's important.
I mean, when you go to register sign up to be a candidate, you just need to have your money and someone else. Yeah, someone else.
No, but you need more than one signature. It's not just you need one signature. You need a certain number of signatures.
Okay. So we're going to get your reaction to this after the news. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got weak ridging across the area. That's going to maintain a typical summer pattern with gentle breezes across the islands. Meanwhile, a late seasonal front boundary across Florida will begin to sink southwards, and that's going to promote a more active weather pattern over portions of the northern islands by tonight into the weekend. Boaters should be alert for possible water spouts, and everybody is being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities, especially during peak afternoon hours, as heat indices will be in the triple digits again today. For all areas, your forecast calls for partly sunny to sunny, hot, and humid conditions, with isolated showers and afternoon thunderstorms, becoming mostly fair and warm with a few showers and thunderstorms across extreme northwest Bahamas by tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures today getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius, but then up to 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a wetter and increasingly unstable pattern will occur for the weekend, as the frontal boundary we told you about will weaken and eventually dissipate near the Bahamas. So for tomorrow, Saturday, look for variably cloudy, very warm and humid conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Sunday, partly cloudy and warm with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. In the tropics, we're watching a tropical wave over the eastern tropical Atlantic. It continues to produce disorganized. The system continues to move westward. It has about a medium chance, 40% chance, of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days, and it's possible that it could become a depression by early next week. We'll continue to watch that for you, but that is your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card In your real-time traffic, traffic is flowing on Mile Butler Highway. It's still heavy traffic, but flowing northbound this morning towards Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road also looking not so bad, but once you get near Munnings Road, you'll see that longer line of traffic in front of you, heading toward that roundabout with JFK Drive. Carmichael Road westbound, seeing some heavy traffic on the way to Coral Harbor Road and the roundabout there. And Blue Hill Road, once you get north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes, you'll see that heavy traffic on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive backing up a bit westbound to that roundabout as well. Elsewhere, we've got pockets along East Street near the intersection with Robinson Road and between Soldier and the East-West Highway Independence Drive roundabout. And pockets along Rob, manageable all around this morning. So that's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care. For every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Switch for better when you Scotiabank. Leave behind that old mortgage plan and open the door to a low interest rate. No payments for up to 2 months and cash back of 2.5% of the mortgage amount up to US $10,000. And guess what? It gets better. Apply for your Scotiabank credit card and enjoy a low 9.99% introductory rate for the first 6 months. Switch for better and upgrade your mortgage today with Scotiabank. Offer ends June 30th, 2022.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Nassau Tile is having its annual inventory sale. That's right. From June 23rd to 29th, you can save up to 25% off selected 12 by 24-inch porcelain tiles and take 20% off store-wide on all tile, thin-set, grout, and mosaics. Our tile experts are ready to guide you in selecting the right tiles for your kitchen backsplash, living room, bathroom, and patio. So don't miss out. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom at 43 Dowswell Street and save big with Nassau Tile, where the world is at your feet.
Fidelity, we're good for you. We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. Business Development Officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Sharon McKenzie behind Dynamic Youth in Action. We heard a little bit about the group over the past few weeks. We're going to learn more. and they're celebrating a major milestone today as well. So we'll get into that in just a bit. And later in Morning Blend Business, as we said, we are talking about real estate in the country and why some say the market is very hot right now if you're selling. All right, so that's coming up. But before the break, we start to talk about it. I want to get your reaction to it quickly. The F&M Long Island Association, they're saying they support Adrian Gibson. We've got your back. You don't need to resign to listen to those people. You're innocent until proven guilty, and we want you there. What say you to this, folks? We're not talking about the case. We're just talking about what they're doing. This is their MP. They voted for him. They say he's there for 5 years or until the House of Assembly is dissolved. 323-6232. 325-4316. Tweet us. Facebook us. Text us. 422-4796. Got a very interesting text. I wish I could read it. Part of it.
Oh, I send it all the time.
You see the text? I sent it to you.
Uh-huh.
You think I can read that? I can't read that there. Hey, no.
You can read that.
Not the first part. I mean, it's funny.
Well, the first part is the part that you have to read. Otherwise, you would get in trouble if you don't read the first part.
What? No.
There's nothing.
It implies all kinds of things.
What? No. It don't matter if you are POP or F&M, which is important. Like you have to state that. If you don't state that, then they could be like, oh, Dwight, I know. I get a hair, the red in his voice. Or the yellow in his voice.
Oh, it's a text. I'm only reading a text. But anyway, they say on a more serious note, hopefully both these matters.
You can't skip the first part. The first part is you have to read the whole thing. They spent 5 cents.
I think it's more than that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What does that matter? Do you see the things that they sent us? We cannot read them. Anyway, I'll read it. I'll read it. It's funny, but folks. Anyway, this is a text. It appears that it does not matter whether you're a PLP or an F&M. Once in politics, just don't be a Gibson. But on a more serious note, this is the texter. Hopefully both matters, regardless of their outcomes, will result in our politicians avoiding the very appearance of corruption.
Which is important.
Yeah, that is very important. All right, let's take...
you going to take a call?
Yeah, let's take these calls quickly. Good morning, caller. Caller, good morning. You're on. Are you there? We hear something. Caller, good morning.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, yeah.
Very low.
I was listening to your remarks while you wanted to hear about what the Long Island branch of the F&M had said.
Mm-hmm.
You see, one thing with the problem in this country is we don't know our Constitution. That's our biggest problem. Article 24.1. A person can be a member of St. Barnabas Church, but he works for BTC. St. Barnabas Church has nothing to do with BTC because they have a member of their church working there. A person could be a member of a political party. When it comes to parliamentary representation, that's a whole horse of a different color. A political branch has no jurisdiction over a parliamentary representation or a person who is representing a particular constituency as a parliamentarian. That's a whole situation altogether. The constituents in a given constituency can make a determination. If they want to circulate something, they can. There's nothing saying they can't. You check Article 24.1, which gives them the right to protect any permission from any party or any branch to do anything. It's wide open, has always been from July the 10th, 1973.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem in our country is that these political entities try to overstretch themselves. Just like you being a member of St. Barnabas Church and Barnabas Church trying to overstretch itself because you work for BDC. The two have no connection at all. Now, that particular individual may be a member of the church, but they also work for BDC. Two different functions altogether. Mm-hmm. Whereas a parliamentarian in the House of Assembly is a member of a political party. There's one thing, but he's also a representative for the constituents. And the constituents have a right to make a determination on their particular representative at any time.
Yeah.
But this nonsense about being there for 5 years, the Constitution doesn't speak to that.
Nope.
If that was so, what happened to those fellows who were there the last time? You see them been there for 5 years? None of them made for 5 years.
Right.
So we got to stop talking foolishness and lying sense, man. We don't even understand the parliamentary system. This is the level of ignorance you have from political organizations talking rubbish and foolishness on the airwaves. That's why I always say to people, you need to know your constitutional rights. Article 24.1 says a lot about protecting your interests. That little phrase right at the bottom of the article, that's a key phrase, which we have overlooked for the last 56 years. Went on 56 since majority rule. It's foolishness, a lot of nonsense when I hear this kind of crap. That's why I listened to the remark that you made before you went to the break and the remark you made after you went to the break, and I understood exactly where you were coming from. But they're talking nonsense and foolishness. Thank you, Mr. Strachan.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right.
I don't remember what remark that was, but okay.
No, because remember they were saying, petition didn't bring him there, so petition can't take him out or whatever. And my whole point was like, if somebody is saying something that at the very least is technically incorrect, but they're saying it like it's true, and it's not met with any opposition, people are going to start to think it's true. And I feel like that's what the caller is saying as well, where like these people are here pretending as though the F&M branch, the F&M Long Island branch, is the person in charge of what the F&M seat, not the F&M, the Long Island seat, even I'm mixing it up. The F&M branch is not in charge of the Long Island seat. Those are two different things. It just so happens that on the Venn diagram of life that they overlap right now. But they're not in charge of it.
Let's take some more calls. We are running out of time for this segment. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight.
Hi.
Earlier, you and Stephen was talking about you before you pay your money, your $400. Okay, you have somebody in this community that have registered to vote. They got to sign. I think the last time I voted, it was 8 of them had to sign to give me the prerogative to vote.
Okay.
So I don't know how many got to sign now, but even they give me the prerogative sign for me to vote, they doesn't really have to vote for me.
Right, yes, we see that often, right? People end up with 4 votes or something. Thank you very much. I know what's going on with your line. Is that our line or your line? And one final call on this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
But that is to say that they were wrong in their statement. Hey, morning.
Yeah, I think your caller before me, Mr. Thompson, missed that. I agree with Loretta Turner Butler. He need to resign from the F&M. Of course, we cannot force him to resign from his constituency because he's fixed here until next election. But the main point is,
he can resign anytime.
Should the leader of the F&M continue his indulgence of alleged corruption by asking him to stay on? You following me?
We hear you.
Right. But that's the main point. What the public is saying, some of my F&M friends are saying that he needed, Mr. Pentard needed to distance himself by asking him to resign from the F&M. Now, that's up to the Long Island people. They want him to resign from their seat. That's a different story. I'm your punk, and you have a good day.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. We're going to take that final call there. Yeah. Let's take this one. Then we
politics. So,
caller, you're on there really quickly.
Oh, that's all right. I don't want to speak to you, producer. I don't want to go on there.
Okay. All right. Something's going on with that line. We're going to check that one out. We're going to take a break. When we come back, you don't want to miss this, folks. We've been talking about this a lot. The students are young people. We're losing them. Or are we? Our guest thinks that we aren't and that we don't have to. Pay attention when she speaks. That's coming up next. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Are you an attorney with a joint practice operating from one location? Accepting payments from clients doesn't have to be complicated.
Introducing RBC MultiPay. Now each attorney can securely accept and settle payments with one point of sale device supporting multiple bank accounts.
With competitive pricing, training, and easy setup, you will be up and running in no time.
Call 356-8500 to sign up for
RBC
MultiPay.
You know, you should teach a savings class, because you know everything.
No, I just choose wisely. Like, I just got 2 months free home internet from BTC. All I did was sign up for internet.
2 months internet free? For real?
I bundled my internet and mobile services, and now I'm paying half of what the other guys charge. Plus, as a new customer, I get 2 months internet free.
What? Now, that's a big deal.
Switch to BTC Internet and get the second and third months free for new customers. Conditions apply.
Condition or offsetting a new injury. Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now. 3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Imagine driving your dream car, doing all the things you never thought you could, like perfecting your parallel parking skills, or picking up your date. Everyone loves to dream. Stop dreaming. Start driving with a brand new offer from Scotiabank. With an auto loan from Scotiabank, benefit from no payments for up to 2 months, a low interest rate up to 9 years to repay, and free insurance for the first year up to 2.5% of the loan amount. Promotion ends June 30th, 2022. Stop dreaming and start driving today with an auto loan from Scotiabank.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And I say, boy, my island's in the sun, 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 sun. Bring it up now.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Stephen Hanna. And we're changing. If you're a regular listener to the show, you heard this young woman call in a couple of times. And she impressed us with what she says her organization does. And we said that we have to have her in studio with us to talk more about this. And we've organized it. We've worked it out. She's here today. And the group is called Dynamic Youth in Action. And Sharon McKenzie is in the studio with us this morning. Sharon, great to finally have you in studio. Great to finally meet you in person. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Thank you, Dwight. Thank you to your listeners. And good morning to everyone.
All right. So take us back to the very beginning. What is this? How did it get started? And why you felt it was needed?
Well, I started DYA back in 2012, and I started it being a victim of sexual abuse, child abuse. Mm-hmm. And as a child going through something like that and surviving, my first thought was I wanted to save all the children in the world if that was possible. Mm. And because of that mindset, I set out to do just that. Mm-hmm. And what I always tell my students, the difference is that they have me. I didn't have anyone then. Mm. So I don't know where this strength in this fight came from, but I survived. And a lot of times, a lot of people say when you go through any childhood trauma or abuse, they would say, well, at least you survived. But I would say to a person that says that, as a child, I shouldn't have to worry about surviving. I should just be thinking about being a healthy, normal child. Mm-hmm. So that's what really birthed DYA. I just wanted to save everybody in the world.
Yeah. When did it get started?
It started in May of 2012. Mm-hmm. And it really started because my daughter, she was 11. She would always hear me talk how I want to start a nonprofit organization. And I was like, but you need money to do it. And then one day, I think she got annoyed of me saying it. And she
How old was
said,
she at the time?
11 years old. And she said, Mommy, all you have to do is just go to a few schools and sell your dream first. Stop just talking about it and find out if you need money. And so I did. The first school I went to actually was in Montel Heights, D.W. Davis. And I spoke with the principal at the time there, Ms. Brown, and I told her my idea. And I said I would like to use the auditorium. And she said, well, if you speak to a few of the kids and they're interested. And my strategy was to use the performing arts. Because think about it, what child does not want to be seen singing or dancing or just finding themselves? And it just blossomed from there. It's not easy, and it's still not easy, but it's amazing. And it's amazing what you learn. And I found the toughest thing about being a youth leader is you have to accept. You can't save everyone. That's the hardest part. And getting them to trust you. That is, I think, the least hardest part, but I'll use that term loosely.
Yeah.
Because they hear so much of, you can trust me, I'm going to do this, I'll be there, and then they're disappointed. So it takes a minute. So what's important is for you to, and I use the term loosely, strip yourself naked in the front of your students. Let them see who you really are. Because when I told them my story, the first thing, but you don't look like that. Because they usually use the counselors or youth leaders coming, the professional gown, the makeup, or the suit. So when I would tell them my story, the first thing, oh, Miss McKinsey, you don't look like that. And I was like, thank you, I tried.
That's 10 years. You've
10
been doing
years,
this.
yes, sir,
Wow.
10 years.
So tell us about how it works exactly. You go to schools, but how do people be a part of the organization?
The awesome thing is the only time I had to go to a school to get students was the first time I started.
Oh, wow.
After the first time I started, the students started bringing their friends, their families to me. And it really starts with interest. I do not encourage the parents to make their children come out. I don't do that because I want every child to come in with their desire to come in, with their desire and them feeling that it's necessary for them to be a part of our organization. Because one of the things that is very important to me is giving back. So you gotta be willing to do community service in order to be a part of DYA. If you're not willing to do that, then I'm not gonna accept you. And one of the things, I won't just turn you away, I make you think. So I've had the pleasure in 10 years not having to turn away anyone because I indirectly turn you away by making you think. I wonder, okay, she might be for real, she might be different. So they give me the chance, they give me the opportunity. And one of the things I always do, I have kids of my own. So DYA is a family thing. Pardon my voice. DYA is a family thing. So everything I do in the organization, I do at home. For example, and a lot of parents, because I also deal with families, I don't have the quote unquote the professional degrees, but I also assist with family counseling. And the way I do that, like I said, everything that I do in the program, I do it at home. So me and my kids do this thing. And Dwight, you should try it. I think you and your family will love it. We call it open box session. Open box session is where my kids get to basically lie on me, because to tell you for about an hour, they get to tell me what they feel like I did wrong. Now, as a parent, we always have a reason for doing things, but as kids, they don't understand or see our reason for the punishment, or you can't go this way, or you can't play with this game and stuff like that. So I would have to sit in the hot seat and listen to them, and I say they lie on me.
I was going to say, why you say they lie on you?
Because some of the things, just because they don't understand it, they'd be like, well, Mommy, you didn't have to spank me for this because of this, and Mommy, you didn't have to punish me for this because of this. So I say they lie on me because, I know they be trying me, but what it does is it builds trust. Because sometimes, the way it works, I would sit inside the circle. Each one of my children will go around, well, Mommy, yesterday you did this and I didn't like this. You said this and I didn't like that. And they would go on, because I have 4 kids, and they would tell me everything. And after they tell me, my only job as their parent is not to defend myself. I am not allowed to defend myself. The only thing I'm allowed to say is, I'm sorry, and I promise not to do it again. I'll try my best not to do it again.
Well, what if it was the right thing to do?
It's not about, sometimes as parents, we have to understand it's not about being right, because this whole exercise is about building trust, because it open up a gateway, because the rule is, after we are done with open box session, I am not allowed to bring it up anymore. I'm not allowed, if I'm punishing them again, oh, remember last week, this is the same thing? No. And I found that me and my kids, we talk about more things, and we talk about everything. And when we talk, they open up, and it does work. And when I do it, it's a form of allowing them to express them. But what I do is I raise my kids the way I wanted to be raised. And I give them the family values the way I wanted. I'm a single parent, but a lot of us use being single parent as a crutch to be bad parents. And I guess in a lot of ways, it's easier than taking on the responsibility and the roles that is necessary to raise a healthy, normal child. But the open box session for 10 years, even in my organization, I have kids came out and admit being abused at home. I have kids coming out admit being involved in criminal activities. And when they come and they tell me, I would assist them, and we would go to the station and we would talk about it, because at some level we have to hold them accountable. But the thing is, the trust is not broken. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So I'm very interested in the community service. I mean, so you're not bribing them to do this. They don't get any points or any money to do this. They just want to be a part of this.
Because what we do, the trick is to make it a game. If you go on our Facebook page, Dynamic Youth in Action or Sharon McKenzie, you would see some of them standing up at the garbage bag, with they pose and they smiling with their water, because I make it a game. I say, okay, the first group to fill the most garbage bag with garbage, okay, we can get McDonald's or something like that, but it's no bribery. We go out and it's a must. And they underestimate their willingness to learn. We underestimate their willingness to give back, because if they feel the love that they give is reciprocated, we will get it back in return. Trust me, I know. My young people, I am being biased here, but I'm going to say it. I have the best young people in the world. They try me like crazy, but they are amazing.
How many students are involved now?
Wow. Do I count the ones in our work program that we just started?
Let's count everybody.
Wow. Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm looking at your Facebook pages. Lots of people.
We do have a lot. We do have a lot, because
and you know all of them?
I know everybody. It's important to know everybody personally. It's very important to know everyone personally. And the reason for that is, I remember when I first started the work program, and I brought the idea out there to some of my groups. And when the guys them called me, because a lot of guys called in, and when I agreed to meet them, the first thing they asked me, is this going on the TV? It's going on the radio? How much is it? What I have to pay? What I have to do? And you know why they asked me that? Because that's what society taught them.
Wow.
You don't get anything for nothing. So when they came into the work program, and they're still waiting on me to say me this, you got to pay me that. Or the news will be here, you come on the news, you just say this. That never happens. And the first company to agree with this was Osprey Company. Osprey is a construction company with different companies. When I brought the idea to the owner, because the whole concept behind it, the name of the work program is YBTC. YBTC is Youths Breaking the Cycle. It's for youths that made bad decisions. It's for youths that come in from school, graduating from school, and they just want to go into the work field. So my job is to then go out in corporate Bahamas and talk to different companies and ask them, my name is Ms. Sharon McKenzie. I have a nonprofit organization. We are trying to work with youths to get them off the ground, to get them have a job. A lot of them do not have experience, stuff like that. So I just brief you, into what you're getting into and just ask you to give them opportunity. And so far, so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you say? What was the number of how many people between both programs?
We are nearing 100.
Yeah, wow.
We are nearing 100 because we are overwhelmed with calls, and unfortunately, it takes a lot of time because when Old Spray first take our first 12, Old Spray take our first 12, they took them all, and it's been amazing.
And what is it for the summer or?
No, it's gainful employment.
Oh,
it's
my
not
goodness.
just a summer because, like I said, the idea was birthed. We're doing this from January, and because we started in January, that's how we got even more members because a lot of them came on wanting to be a part of the work program, and for them, the only thing I asked back there, community service. If you're not willing to give me community service until I find you a job, then I'm not going to find you a job because you're not going to be a part of the program, and it's a must. Because if you're going to come out on Saturdays, if you're going to come out on Mondays and you know you're not getting anything at the end of it, then you're letting me know I'm ready to work. I'm ready to change my life. And that's how it works.
There are plenty of people listening, I'm sure, who we don't have young people like this in the Bahamas.
We do. Oh, my God. We do. Listen, all they want is a chance, Young people are the most amazing, creative people I know. And a lot of them, they do want a difference and they do want a chance. And I get tired of hearing people basically bash them. And my Grammy always say, don't ever say someone don't want something if you don't sincerely offer it to them. I remember when I first started in DYA, I think at the time it was the director of youth. I think it was Lee. I'm not sure if she was the director, but she was sitting somewhere in youth. And I remember when I went to her the first time, because Youth in Sports is one of the organizations we partner with. And I remember the first time I went there and I told her, well, I have a nonprofit organization and I would like to register with you guys, so forth. And she said to me, she said, when you are interviewing new people to come in to work with you, always let your students be there. Let your students be there because they can spot sincerity. And they will let you know who is sincere and who is not. And that is so true. And that's the secret behind DYA's success. The complaints my students have, they tell me I'm too nice. And I get accused of having a favorite every other day.
Well, okay, so what are the age groups that you're working with?
The weirdest thing is when I first started, I started from like age 11, 12, because I figured anything younger than that, they may be too young and stuff like that, because we do use the performing arts as a strategy to keep the young people involved and interested in the program. And so because of that, I didn't think anyone under the age of 11, 12 would really be that structured to know how to, and I got surprised because I remember one day, my students and I, because we do a lot of performances, our first performance was at the Ministry of Education downstairs for their Independence Anniversary service. And I remember I was teaching them something, and my son at the time was 4 years old.
Wow.
And my third son. And I didn't know he was paying attention. And one day when I look, I was like, oh my God, I got to get up. I got to start practicing. I went inside my son's room, and he is doing the dance to the song. And I was like, oh my God, he could do it. And he only now it's as long as your child has an interest, as long as they're able to understand and follow instructions, they're welcome. So we start like 4 or 5.
Wow.
And in 2019, before the pandemic, we did it. We tried it. And let me tell you, it was amazing. So now we have a section just for ages 4 to 11. And so we have everybody involved. And like I said, DYA is a family organization. So it's me and my 4 kids that run the organization.
So is this a full-time?
It's full time. It's 24/7. It's all the time. We even held it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
We were meeting with the kids, and I felt that it was necessary to meet with the kids because so much craziness going on and so much bad news every day. You hear someone is sick, someone is dying. So meeting with the kids was really, really, really necessary. and really important because I wanted them to stay with some normalcy, and with the death rate being so high. And like I said, you can't turn on the TV, you can't go on Facebook without hearing something negative. I needed my students to stay positive, so we played games. Every game we played was a lesson. Yeah. For example, one of their favorite games was a game that I call Goal. Goal is played, we put 4 cups in the middle of the floor. We have 4 people on each part of the cups. And the goal is everybody on this side, go, go, go. Everybody on this side, go, go, go. They are the distraction that life throws at us. Mm-hmm. And so I'm also a distraction because you got to do everything I say. Mm-hmm. If I say head, you touch your head. If I say shoulder, you touch your shoulder. And I go on and play tricks. And then when I say cup, you got to grab your goal. Distractions, or you can just remain focused on your goal. So every game we play is a lesson. Mm-hmm. Every game.
All right, so you say 4 to 11 and 11 to 12 was the original focus. So what if you're older than that? Are you?
My students haven't left. I have students graduate college and they come back all the time.
Wow.
My students don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I have a student going into Defense Force and he said, Miss McKenzie, I only gonna be going for 6 months. I'll be back. My students don't leave. I have students that are away to college that come back every summer just to work with us at the camp. They don't leave.
All right, so what do you need to do to be a part of this? If you have children in this age group,
call
tell
Miss
us what you need to do.
McKenzie, and that's it.
And how often do you need to see them? Is it
The parents, I want the parents' involvement, so we do something where we have parents sports day, literally parents sports day, where the kids get to sit on the side and watch mommy and daddy fall down, act the fool, and it's fun. And we do this in July. And it's always a success. It's a lot of fun. So the most thing we ask is cooperation because everything that we usually get is donated.
Right.
So mostly we just ask for their interest and their cooperation.
And you run a summer camp or
it's
during
24
the school
hours.
year, so, yeah.
24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Come when you can. Is that how it works?
Yes.
Yep.
And attendance is a must.
Yeah. All right. So how often do you need to attend?
Every time we have youths. And the thing is, I made my telephone line, a 24-hour line for my students because, again, I don't have a particular type. Like, I'm not going to pick you because you're from this area, and I'm not going to pick you because you're easier to deal with. No, you're interested. That means something is going on, or you just want to change, or you just want something different. So I don't say no away from home. Listen, I think God just picked the tough ones to give to me. I've had students that ran away from home, and when they ran away from home, they run straight to my house. And that's why it's important for me for them to know where I live. They know my number. They have access to me. And the reason for that is because they're not used to that. They're used to you coming for a couple hours and playing the role, and then when you go, phone off, don't call me. And who can I trust like that? And it's not the same thing. It really isn't the same thing. It's having a nonprofit organization is almost like raising your own child. You have to pour into it, and you have to nourish it, and you have to be sincere about it, and you have to be accessible to it, and you have to be held accountable for the lives that come in the organization. And like I said, these young people, they want a change. And I remember I suggested to you that I was going to speak with the minister, and I hope this is not premature talking about it, about a work program to assist me with the work program and have the kids come in and learn some technical skills and have a stipend, maybe $100 a week. And the reason for this, and the reason why I said I don't think it would send the wrong messages, come on. Look at the society we are living in today. And look at after and during the pandemic. A lot of people lost jobs. And I remember on your show, I was hearing how a lot of kids have to work to support their families.
Yeah.
And because of that, they want to go to school and they want something better, but then they're so limited. And every child is not academically there.
Because you had called in, we were talking about what to do to get people who dropped out of school to go back to finish.
Exactly.
You were saying a stipend would be.
Yes, the stipend would only to help them to be able to get the necessary things, sort of like an incentive to say, listen, I got you. Why it always have to be the government this, the government that, when we got so many capable people that could assist these young people. And the thing is, don't come and say they don't want it. Don't come and say, oh, I'm tired trying, because if you wake up every day, then your job is not done on this earth. And because you're not a psychic, then you don't know what your job entails. And you don't know why you come across who you come across. And these young people, they are there, and they may not come right out to ask for the help because they don't know. And from their experience and mine, who do I trust?
Yeah.
But make yourself accessible to them. Make yourself known to them. They are amazing. I'm telling you, don't wait for them to be polished and then you come and hug them. And no, they are amazing. And when they love you, listen, they love you. You hear me? They love you. My phone rings 24/7.
Wow. All right, so you're saying not everybody can be a part of it. You have to show that interest, that you are willing
have
to
to
do the
be
community
interested,
service
yes.
and to perform and to
Yes.
be in. Yeah.
Because sometimes the community service, well, since the pandemic, we haven't done our regular community service. Our regular community service would usually entail going to the old folks' home. The kids, they make up beds, they help cook for them, they talk to them. A blind senior citizen beat all of us at checkers. We still trying to figure out if he is really blind. I don't think he was really blind. I think they just told us that. But he beat all of us at checkers, and then I learned a lot of things too.
Yeah.
You know, and the kids enjoy sitting down and talking to the older generation. Contrary to popular belief, they do enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when we go to the old folks' home, it's always fun. We met, and I was so honored because that was my first time. I was 102 years old.
Wow.
And so while some of the kids, because again, I turned it into a game, the old folks home we went to was Yellow Ella Daycare Center. And there's a part just for the male, and there's a part just for the females because it's huge. So I separate the males, had them cleaning the male part, and the girls cleaning the female part. So I turn it into a game. Whoever finished first get to come outside with me. And we thought, listen to this, Dwight, we thought we were just taking them outside to get some fresh air while we were doing what we were doing in there. But Miss 102 years old wanted to play ring play.
Oh.
And she wanted to play brown girl.
Oh, wow. This must have been amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So we can see that you enjoy what you do.
I love
and
what I do.
we need to have you back often.
Yes,
when
thank
we have
you.
these discussions
Yes.
about what's going on with young people in our country.
Yes.
So you're celebrating this big milestone. You were supposed to do something today, but that's been
Yes.
put off for a little bit.
Yes, it has. Yes, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. And it was to be a minor setback for a bigger comeback.
Yeah.
And in August, the second week in August, we will be having a dynamic performance.
And you're going to come back then, and you're going to bring some of the
Yes.
students with you, the
Yes,
kids with
I
you, and
will.
we're going to meet them and talk to them. And
Yes.
before that, you'll be back to talk with us
Definitely,
about some of the hot
definitely.
issues that we want to get your perspective on. Stephen?
Thank you.
Oh no, I was gonna say before you let it go, tell her, because I'm sure the person out there were like, this sounds like an interesting program.
Yeah.
Like
Thank you.
how could they help the program? How do they? Is it something that is, I guess the word be scalable? Like is it like you guys have branches? I know that you have the core element there. You said you have like 100 students that flow in and out of it. Like are you partnering with other NGOs or anything like that? Like,
Well, we do partner. We have partners like Women and Girls Coalition, Women United. We do partner with other organizations, and we're based on Gladstone Road. We're Gladstone Road, and it is a nonprofit. So we deal strictly with just donations, strictly donations.
All right, so if people want to be a part of it, what do they need to do?
Well, if people want to be a part of it, my number is 816-7698, Miss Sharon McKenzie. You just call in, and we just go from there. We send you the application form. There is no fee. I've been told I need to charge. And when things do get tight, because funding is times that I have to dig into my own pocket and do a lot of what I have to do. And so, but I can't, the reason I do not charge for the program, because the program is amazing. And you have a lot of kids out there. From where I come from, I've seen the cycle repeat. Abuse, young mother, abuse, drug dealer, abuse, selling your body, and I'm tired of seeing it. And I think part of the reason is you have these amazing organizations, but then your child still can't get in for whatever reason. And like I said, I think I said this when I called into your show, the problem is we run on the buddy system so much. And because of that, I don't charge to get in the program, because I want to give everybody an opportunity for change. Everybody deserves that.
All right, so you said you're on Gladstone Road.
Yes.
If people are living east, down, how do they get there? What do they need to do? How does that work?
Well, usually, okay, to help suffice a lot of people, we would use one of the schools, like we'll be using a school, not sure which one is yet, for our summer camp. And usually when we do meet up, we always try to meet up somewhere, because the office only, but we would usually try to meet up somewhere like in the middle where it wouldn't be so hectic. And then there are times that I find people willing, and it would be the most unlikely people that are willing to assist us and pay our bus fare.
Okay.
Yeah, the undesirables are mainly the ones that encourage the students. Like I said one time, when we were doing our walkabout, and we were going when we first did our first performance at Ministry of Education, I was walking with a group of students, and at one little tiny thing, I blended with the students, and so one of the gentlemen stopped me on the corner, and he was like, "Man, little woman, where you going with all these shirts?" I said, "Man, we have a performance, and this is our first one, and we have to make it there." He said, "Where are you all going?" I said, "We going to the Ministry of Education." He said, "But how are you all getting there?" I said, "That's why we start walking so early, because we have to be there for 1 o'clock." He said, "Hold on," because he knows me as Sharon. And so he said, "Sharon, you're going to walk all the way to the Ministry of Education?" I said, "Well, we're in a group, and I have the buddy system working, so we're not going to feel the walk." And he was like, no, I can't have you walking. And he went on East Street. I will never, ever, ever, ever forget that. Because even I think even a worse set of criminals know that is not what they want to do, but feel like that's what they have to do. He went on the corner, and he stopped a bus. He stopped 2 buses. He paid them to take us to Education and bring us back.
Wow.
And I was amazed. And then when we had the camp at the time, the second time at E.P. Roberts, the bar that was on the corner of E.P. Roberts by the Number House. When we looked, out of nowhere, they're bringing us drinks. They're bringing us food. It's the ones that are most unlikely to suspect, that wants the change people say, that usually assist us.
My goodness. So when is your summer camp? When are you doing that?
Our summer camp starts the 4th of July.
Okay, and it runs for how long?
It's going to run until the 2nd week of August.
And how many can you accommodate?
How many come in?
Okay.
I don't turn anyone away.
Wow.
Because everybody have a need. I don't turn anybody away.
And give us that number again for people to call.
816-7698.
And it doesn't matter the age.
Doesn't matter the age. WhatsApp only. Doesn't matter the age.
Okay.
It's necessary. A program like mine, and I know everybody always talk about the organization, but what makes us different is our accessibility.
Yeah.
We're easily accessible, and the love, the compassion is there because it's necessary. Yeah. And the kids feel it, so they don't go nowhere. Thanksgiving, I'm never alone for the past 10 years, not just with my kids, but my students always find a reason to come to my house. Thanksgiving, Christmas, they're on the island, they're working, and they come back when they get that long month off. Miss McKenzie, we're in Nassau. What you doing? We coming for you. Where you want to go? You want to go to Fish Fry?
Wow. This is amazing. Sharon McKenzie, you're a godsend.
It's God. It's all God.
You've got to come back and talk to us some more.
Definitely.
And we definitely will help you celebrate your 10th anniversary.
So, Juan, Dwight, before you go. Dwight, I have to put you on the spot a second.
We're running out of time, though. But
okay, quickly. have you adopted a nonprofit as yet, personally?
I have. Yeah. All right. We'll talk.
Okay.
We have each other's numbers now, so
Okay.
we'll make it happen. Maybe Guardian Radio will
Thank
get in
you.
on this.
Definitely, definitely.
So this is really quite something. Keep
Thank
up the
you.
wonderful work.
Thank you
We
so much.
are very happy and proud of you. You're
Thank
doing
you.
something fantastic for this community.
Thank you.
Boy, we're getting a lot of our texters saying this as well. This person, I'll take. This is such a breath of fresh air. The program is amazing. Changed the community from the ground up. And this person says, enjoying this more than anything I've heard in my 10 years of listening to your show.
Thank you,
tonight.
thank you,
Wow.
thank you.
And that's quite a backhanded compliment there. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to Sharon for that.
Thank
All right.
you.
So we will definitely be talking to you more.
Thank you so much, Dwight. It was a pleasure being here, and thank you, listeners, for listening in on us. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking about the real estate market in the Bahamas and Morning Blend business. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, June 24th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. And this morning we're talking about the real estate market in the Bahamas. What are the trends? What's hot? What's not right now? And if you're in the market, what can you expect? We are getting the answers from the new president of the Bahamas Real Estate Association, BRIA. Nikki Buff is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Madam
Dwight.
President. This is a new post for you, about
Very
a
much
month.
so. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good to have you in the studio with us. Okay, saying that this is a seller's market.
Most definitely. Yes.
My God. Okay.
Oh, good morning. Sorry. Good morning, Stephen.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you.
You know, it's just me, controversial Stephen.
Oops.
How do we fix that?
What is that a bad thing? Why is
it's a horrible thing if you don't own property?
Right. Okay. So that's good for some people and
Yes.
bad for others.
Exactly.
All right. So how did you arrive? How do we come to this point? Because I think just a few years ago, it certainly wasn't a seller's market.
That's correct. That's correct. Ironically, we've seen an upturn in the market since COVID, which is not what most people would expect to be the case. Normally, what should happen is there should be a tremendous slowdown in the market. Certainly, real estate agents were not able to practice real estate for a significant portion of 2020. And we did see a downturn in sales at that point in time, whether it was residential, commercial, and rentals, straight across the market.
I have the theory.
But I'll tell you what drove that. With people people having to move out of the cities, primarily in U.S. side, of course, and more people operating electronically, online. It meant that you could have your virtual office anywhere.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of people said, well, if I'm going to be cooped up, if I'm going to have to
Exactly.
do work from home, then I might as well make home a really
I need to have a nice home.
great
Yeah.
place to be. So that worked fortunately for us, a prime destination. Many people want to move to the Bahamas or move to parts of the Bahamas. And of course, if they can do it, even if it's on a short-term basis where they're in and out, but having their base here, they will do so. And we've seen that in the numbers. Yeah.
But I guess this goes to what Stephen is, I think, going to suggest, right?
Yes.
This was already a very pricey market.
Yes.
And that means that this is even pricier.
Correct.
And is there
What
anything?
about the locals?
Yeah. Well, what about the locals and what about the people who aren't rich, who are, right, just looking for something to be comfortable with?
Well, like I said, we've seen this increase in movement at every level. So a lot of people were saying, oh, okay, if you're saying there's a lot of transactions going on, it must only be in the luxury level, or must only be in the high end, and that's not true. You will always have people at different stages in their life, whether they are downsizing, so they have to sell. They are upsizing because their family's getting bigger, so they have to find a bigger place to live. That's just a part of life, right? And the pandemic, of course, did slow down some aspects of the real estate market, but those trends happen, at all times, right? It's just where you are in your life. What we've seen quite a lot of people, whether they're young people investing in duplex lots, looking to build and looking to get help with the mortgage, which is really the primary driver for looking for a multifamily lot. Those have continued. In fact, and that in terms of activity, and I would say for local market, that's where we tend to see the most transactions. Right now, predominantly, it's rental market. A lot of people have either had to downsize or had to relocate for various reasons. So we have seen an uptick in rental transactions at every end of the market. I just did a small analysis just in preparation for today's little interview with you, just to be able to give you just a better idea. And just having looked at the transactions in April, May, and June, we have seen that there has been almost 100% increase in transactions. And when you look at that closely, it is comprised of sales and rentals, but rentals are the drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
could you give me an idea of what the average price point is for those exchanges?
Yes.
Like,
good question.
Are we inside the $700 range, or are we inside more of the $1,200 to $1,500 range when you talk about the rentals?
Good question. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to also ask about and then on the sales side, how many of those are? I guess $250 is $250,000. So how many of them are $250,000 and up?
Okay, so I didn't get, because I was trying to be fast, I didn't quite get to the composition of the sales amount. So we'll get to that. So let me just start with the rental. So the MLS is what drives our kind of information base as real estate agents. And the MLS, not a lot of the rentals end up there. So I'm giving you a
MLS
snapshot.
Stands for
for the multiple listing service. Sorry.
Right.
In our market.
That's the website you guys pull from, right?
That's exactly right. Yes. It's one where we'd like to see more. We'd like to see more listings go through the MLS because it allows us to do just this, which is an analysis, which is not just an assumption or going by a hunch, but it's looking at the numbers.
People still putting in the papers or on Facebook, I guess.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So you got it. So traditionally, rentals, we probably capture, I would say, somewhere between 10 to 20%. So it's really conservative numbers that I'm talking about here. The ones we would tend to see in the rentals would be the transaction 1,500 upwards of 6,000, let's say. And your question earlier, where are we seeing the majority of that movement? It's the $2,500 mark. For our local market, it would tend to be our $1,200 to $1,500 is our driver. Okay. We've seen quite a lot of transactions materializing, and that is, even though we see predominantly a lot of transactions in Nassau and Paradise Island, we're seeing it a lot more in the Family Islands as well. Yeah.
But just by looking at what's online or in the papers, it's hard to find a place for $600 a month.
Yes.
Or under anymore.
That's right.
For one bedroom. So based on what you're seeing, what on average are you getting? How much is a one bedroom, one bath going for?
Yeah, well, it depends on whether it's furnished, semi-furnished, or if you're getting it completely empty. There are a lot of people looking for it unfurnished, actually, because they have their furnishings already in hand. Typically, you probably see that price point drop anywhere from $500 to, I would say, about $800. Yeah. When you get to semi-furnished, which means you get the appliances built in, then it goes up a little bit. It goes, I would say, typically from $800 up to about 1,500. And of course, then it's like whether it's 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, it drives that, right?
Yeah. I know a few years ago there was a strong reaction to a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, semi-furnished, and for $900 and $1,000, people were freaking out.
Yes.
But that's where we are.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So on the sales side, you wanted to
No,
more
go
on
ahead.
that?
I didn't want to
Back-
interject. Yeah.
Back to what Stephen was saying. So is anything available? Is there vacant land? Are there homes available
There's
out there?
always something to because people always die and then they have children.
There is still availability. Yes. It just depends where you're looking.
My personal experience.
Yeah, it depends on where you're looking because, there are some areas that are extremely hot. Like a lot of people tend to look in the Stapleton area, particularly for multifamily because it's very popular. And you can get a range that starts very affordable right up to, higher end because you have a nice mix there and it's a great community there. Also, you have people tending to still want to be more west than east, even though traffic has gotten much better coming out of the east.
Let them go west. For us out east, that's fine. Let them
so
think
typically
that. It's
the
still
request is west. Yeah, and then of course south. What we've seen a lot of people requesting residences or investments even in the southern part of the island because that's also where you see a lot of migration, new developments, new homes coming out of there. So you see people moving as well to those areas.
Wow. All right, and we're going to touch on commercial as well.
Yes.
What are we seeing there?
Okay, well, so commercial. We just had a new report come out from the commission, the Compliance Commission, and like I said, I prefer to talk facts rather than just off the top of my head. The numbers that we saw come out of 2020, between 2020 and 2021, there has been a decline in the amount of commercial, whether it's rentals, purchases. So it's kind of two-tiered, okay? So we've seen a reduction, and that reduction is also linked to what we were just talking about earlier, where more people are working from home. So some businesses were forced to close just simply because of lack of traffic, and they weren't businesses, right? Everything had slowed down, and that was just symptomatic of the economy, right? What we then saw, though, is we saw that the value of the commercial transactions started to go up. And I can tell you what's been driving that lately has been the cryptocurrency investors who are in town, who are looking to make the Bahamas their home, whether it's for their headquarters or for a branch of their company. So what we still, in terms of the numbers are still not quite back to where they were, but the quality of the transaction has gone up significantly. When FTX purchased they purchased 2 sites actually. That was a huge driver in the dollar amount that was spent in the commercial sector.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and and if we read the newspapers and we anticipate we should see a little bit more of that coming because there are others coming, right? So it's a mixed bag, right?
Yeah, that's wonderful and scary.
Yes, because it drives prices too, right?
My follow-up question.
Yes.
Bria, correct?
Yes.
Are they saying anything to the government in terms of, hey, while we are happy to be making money hand over fist, we realize that the local population might need something secured for them or reserved for them? Anything in talks about that? I mean, because they say, all right, I don't think that I could go in a bidding war, me personally, Stephen, with a multinational crypto company.
Right.
To get access to property.
Yes.
And if everybody is trying to sell property that is in walking distance of the beach, $1 million, then definitely I'm now priced out of it for everything that's a mile close to any sort of water feature. So
yes.
Is there any thought or anything possibly in the works to say, hey, we need to make sure reserve something for locals or citizens?
Well, I'll say, first of all, I'm really newly in the newly in place as of May 12th. So I'm not aware of any talks of that nature. I do know that the latest communication as it relates to in implementing a tiered system for VAT has been, and I would imagine, has been prompted to be a stimulus for our local Bahamians, just to ensure that when we, and it comes into effect July 1st. So what happens is if below certain price points, rather than paying the standard VAT, which was normally at 5% seller, 5% for the buyer, it has been reduced, which is a positive thing. One thing I should state is because we've seen such a increase in transactions, I would say over the last 2+ years, we know that inevitably things will start to slow down. So a pace like this, just because we're islands, we don't have unlimited inventory to sell. And for the same reason, your question is an important one. So we do expect things to slow down at some point in the near future. So having the stimulus in place also, in my opinion, should slow down some of the, you call the oh my goodness, I just had a elderly moment there. It just slows down the recessionary pace. That's the word I was looking for. Because it started in the U.S. And we know that we closely mirror whatever happens in the U.S. So while it has been very positive for us for the last few years, we do expect at some point for that to slow down as well.
But no idea when.
No idea when. I mean, right now, the positive thing with the movement is that we are seeing that throughout all of the family islands. It is really interesting to note or to see the amount of transactions taking place in Eleuthera right now. Exuma has been hot for the longest time, and that's slowing down for the simple reason that inventory is really an issue there. Limited land, right? When you get to a certain point, So you have people still looking, mind you, but not necessarily finding what they want.
And these prices are going up as well.
Well, the family islands, I find that their prices generally stay fairly even-keeled. I'm sure as we go forward, we may see a slight spike because, of course, with increased demand and with limited supply, usually there's an increase in price. That's just the reality of how it works.
Family island is still affordable. The issue is how do you get persons to move to the family island if they're working in New Providence?
Yes.
So that's the main issue.
Exactly. But if we're paying attention, we see in the newspapers that there have been a number of bigger developments announced. There was one just earlier this week for Long Island. And when I read that, it was not just one, it was one of two that were happening, big drivers. Yeah. So, we've had the driver in Eleuthera, which is Disney, right? We're a little bit unsure of how that would impact us. I think it has been driving positively sales and migration, as you said, to these islands. Because what happens is if you have more demand, then you have the need for more amenities, more infrastructure, and of course, then people then have more jobs, right?
Yeah.
So you have the complete package.
And we talked about the pandemic. Lots of people can work far from where their office is, right?
So and work in paradise, right?
Right. Move to the family islands and work from there.
Exactly.
You mentioned the taxes. I want to get back to that in a second. But with commercial properties, on New Providence, we are still seeing a number of shopping centers being built.
Yes.
And
why?
And why? We've got quite a few empty shopping centers. They've got only half populated. Why are we doing this?
On Soldier Road between Blue Hill Road and East Street, it's like 5 or 6 of them. And I cannot imagine, I cannot fathom why.
Maybe they know something we don't know.
Well, this is true. I mean, and that's what I was going to say. Sometimes there's more to it than we see, right? As we drive along the streets. But I think if we think about it, we have not seen the migration of businesses the way we've seen, and then when I say migration, I mean the businesses, business centers, the business strip malls, we have not seen them move out to where people are. Carmichael would probably be the only spot at this point. You know, they called it City 2000, right? I would say you saw the migration of people. Businesses came after, if you think about it. Yes.
Took a while.
And I think that's exactly what we're seeing now. I think people have moved, but the businesses have not necessarily followed them. And I think, I mean, if we think about it, everybody wants conveniences, right? Especially with gas prices where they are today, having to drive halfway across the island to get to what you need. Mm-hmm. So I think they're slowly filling in what has been needed for a while. And yes, there are probably some other areas that have not, even though you've seen some vacancy materialize, you're probably not seeing people move into them right away. But, you know, I think sometimes it's also about upgrading the facilities and making sure that the need matches what is available, right?
Is that something that we should also keep an eye out for or be concerned about? Because, I know like in a lot of places that were historically residential areas, but then the first set of persons might have moved out and it became a main thoroughfare, and suddenly you have a house that was originally built for 5 to 10 people, maybe packed in really tight, is now considered a commercial space or a commercial area, and there's no parking.
That's right.
And they're reversing into East Street. Like, is there something that we should be concerned about, or we should try to get ahead of it so we don't have that replicating itself in these newer developments or these newer areas?
Most definitely. But I mean, I think town planning generally tends to incorporate. I think as you say, some of the areas that were previously more residential, if you look central, and if you look like along the Marathon Road strip, for example, you have a lot of those residential homes that have just over time just become predominantly commercial.
Yeah.
And I think that was more happenstance, just because people were moving, whether it's west or whether it's south, right? They were getting out from where they were, and then they were rezoned or applied for to become. So yes, that was, I think, less of a plan than what is happening now, where you have more town planning going in and saying, okay, this is zoned for commercial, this is zoned multifamily, and this is why it's supposed to be this way and not the other, right? I think there is a little bit more planning going in, especially as they introduce new subdivisions.
Yeah. I would hope so, but then I know of several occasions where, like, not liquor stores, but a restaurant / nightclub pops up next door to a house.
Yes.
In a neighborhood. But it's close to the main road, so but.
Well, all right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear more about the taxes, VAT, and more with Nikki Buff, the president of the Bahamas Real Estate Association. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. We'll get to your text messages as well. Stay with us.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Maybe surrounded by.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good for nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas. Your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Fidelity.
used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Create memories and experience moments with the love of your life that will last a lifetime right in our backyard. Escape the hustle and bustle of Nassau with your special someone for an intimate islands getaway. You can get lost in the magic of an island sunrise, the stars in the night sky. In the Family Islands, disconnect from the world and reconnect with the one that means the most. Now is the perfect time with our 2 fly-free Bahamas Residence special. Go to bahamasresidence.com for more info.
Switch for better when you move your mortgage to Scotiabank. Leave behind that old mortgage plan and open the door to a low interest rate. No payments for up to 2 months and cash back of 2.5% of the mortgage amount up to US $10,000. And guess what? It gets better. Apply for your Scotiabank credit card and enjoy a low 9.99% introductory rate for the first 6 months. Switch for better and upgrade your mortgage today with Scotiabank. Offer ends June 30th, 2022.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
We have different sending options for you to use the one that fits you best. You can send money directly to bank accounts around the world, or for cash pickup by visiting our agent locations. Or you can also start your money transfer in our app and then pay cash in store. Look for an agent location near you, or download our app and send money to your loved ones abroad.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
At Western Union, we have different sending options for you to use the one that fits you best. You can send money directly to bank accounts around the world, or for cash pickup by visiting our agent locations. Or you can also start your money transfer in our app and then pay cash in store. Look for an agent location near you, or download our app and send money to your loved ones abroad.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. A report from business news and financial data company Bloomberg lumps the Bahamas with the top 10 most distressed emerging markets. The report adds Ecuador, Kenya, Nigeria, and Egypt to a list of distressed nations that includes Belarus, Ukraine, Maldives, Tajikistan, Pakistan, and the Bahamas. Responding to the report yesterday, Kwesi Thompson, the East Grand Bahama MP and former Minister of Finance, contended that the government has not done enough since coming to power and in its 2022-2023 budget to plot a course forward and toward fiscal consolidation and economic growth that will give investors confidence. You can read more about the story in today's Guardian Business section. The government has engaged Canadian corporate law firm Cassels to assist with the development of a regulatory framework for the cannabis industry. Attorney General Ryan Pinder making this announcement yesterday. According to its website, Cassels is a respected cannabis law firm known for contributing to thought leadership in connection with financing, structuring, and regulatory issues in the cannabis industry. Pinder saying on Wednesday that within the first 6 months of the new fiscal year, which begins on July 1st, the government intends to develop a comprehensive regulatory framework for growing, harvesting, and exporting cannabis. A local energy and environment advocate is calling for greater regulation of the heavy equipment industry in the country. Deborah Deal, who once served as the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation Energy and Environment Division Chair, said operators of Industry and Subdivisions Act so that they are more mindful of the impact their activities have on the environment. She says that global statistics have shown that the main contributor to greenhouse gases is the use of fossil fuels through energy. The transportation industry, which includes vehicles such as cars, buses, heavy equipment, pleasure boats, mail boats, yachts, freighters, cruise ships, small planes, and jets, as well as backup energy generation for personal and commercial use. Overseas, a day after endorsing Ukraine's candidacy to join the European Union, the bloc's leaders turned their attention today to the severe economic turbulence looming over the coming months as the full impact of Russia's war sinks in and the threat of recession rises. The EU's 27 leaders gathered in Brussels to grapple surging inflation, energy shocks, dwindling business and consumer confidence, and growing budget pressures. The leaders who will have to contend with higher borrowing costs as the European Central Bank prepares to raise interest rates for the first time in 11 years to counter runaway price increases. The ECB President, Christine Lagarde, who plans to raise rates next month and again in September, joined the EU summit to discuss the darkening economic outlook. Closer to home in your Market Watch, trading on the BISX, your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 1,000 shares, up 40 cents to $5.50. Commonwealth Bank moving 28,000, moving up 8 cents to $3.10. Consolidated Water up 7 cents, closing at $2.69, and Emira Incorporated up 9 cents, closing at $11.06. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,501.66, up 12.33. That's your Market Watch, and brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. We are talking with Nikki Buff, the president of the BRIA, Bahamas Real Estate Association. We'll get to taxes in a second, going back to that, but this text here. Rent prices are ridiculous, outrageously priced, and most because I looked 5 years ago and I tried to find comparable accommodations. It was impossible. The real estate agent showed me a property for half the space than I had for $800 more than I was paying. Bahamas are being priced out of the labor market by prices rich foreign persons are willing to pay. It's the same for foreign services. And real estate people love it. They think this is wonderful anyway. The commissions might be interested, but what do you say to a tax like that? And a lot of people feel that way.
Yes, well, we've had a few things to cause demand to go up. We had Dorian, where you had a lot of people who relocated into Nassau as a direct result of that. So, of course, what happened also then was you had just the inability to find rentals as easily. And I would say that as we have some of them relocating back to Abaco and to other family islands, we just have a demand. That, like I said earlier, there are a lot of people who have been downsizing, and so what they're doing is, rather than paying high mortgages, they've so that too is happening. Right? It's just a reality of economic system situation worldwide.
That's a significant number of people.
I would say so. I mean, just from what I've seen and people who have been contacting me, yes, because some people also, what they do is they move out of their homes, put their home in the rental pool, but they too then need to go and find something, right? So it's a knock-on effect. Yeah. But it's a reality.
Oh boy. Yeah, I guess it works financially for them if they do that. That's really interesting. All right, so let's talk about it. Some adjustments with that, and of course, real property tax is always a hot issue. But let's talk about that again, what you mentioned, what's changed or what's about to change with that.
Yes, July 1, there will be, when you go to get your purchase stamped, the VAT that it attracts will change. The structure will change. It will stay the same for anything over that's purchased that's under $100,000, which is at 2.5%. But generally speaking, we went from that 2.5%. You went up to 5% for everything up to $1 million. And then last year they had changed it slightly, so over $1 million was attracting a slightly different figure. So what's going to happen is they put tiers, and I don't have all of it right in front of me here, but the tiers work at 100, 300, 500, and 700,000. So I don't know exactly the VAT. I'm sorry, I don't have it here with me.
It will go up from 2.5.
It will come down from the 5%, because normally it's 5% shared by the buyer, 5% with the seller. That will reduce.
So the lowest being 2.4, under 100,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, I mean, you can save up to 1% in some cases, which, I mean, we may not think is significant when you say 1%, but 1% of, let's say, 200,000 is significant. You know? Yeah. So it should act as a stimulus for people who were maybe on, teetering on making a purchase and saying, well, maybe not now. I don't have all the closing costs. That may help them, push them over the edge to make a decision. Okay, I'm going to buy now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now they could buy that rug.
Hopefully more than that. Yes.
Oh boy! All right, and that's July 1st, so just a few weeks away.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
And real property tax, we know that it's a hot issue, as we said. Oh boy! So we did a show with the Department of Inland Revenue, and people called in and said, we don't know how they arrived at these values, and that's always a challenge. What are we basing these on? How did you get to this? Your value is different from what my real estate agent has said. What's causing the discrepancies there? Or are we all not on the same page?
Well, I'm not going to go into this too much because I've had a number of conversations, but I try not to talk about anything I'm not well versed on. I do know that and quite a number of people have contacted appraisers to get a kind of another opinion, and consequently gone into Inland Revenue with their findings. Yes, I don't think I'll touch this one. It's a little bit outside of my scope of expertise.
And it is
so, yeah.
Controversial.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, wouldn't part of it also be knowing like the price of things in the general vicinity costing a certain amount?
Yes, you're talking about comparables. It's not the only determining factor. Normally, it should be the size of your land. The land is a driving factor, if it's a developed property or if it's just simply a vacant land. We don't, as Bahamians, need to worry about that. But that is a significant factor. So even if you have two homes side by side that look, for all intents and purposes, very similar from the exterior, if the land size varies, that's going to shift valuation, right? Because that's the biggest driver. And then afterwards, is it 3-bedroom? Is it 2-bedroom? Because even from the facade, if it looks like it's a 2-bedroom home, It might actually be a third bedroom to the rear of the property. That once again is going to add another level of value in there. So, yeah.
Are those tool sheds that people are renting as efficiencies? Are those also driving up the property value?
I mean, it will have a knock-on effect. Yes, it will. So yes, and like I said, a lot of people for that reason look to multifamily because it's not just them paying the mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So I remember when I was in the market a few years back, I'd been spoiled by what I saw on TV, HGTV. People, they stage a home.
Yes.
And here at the time, except for new construction, people were just like, "Hey, this is it." And I'm like, "What?" And at this price, have we gotten it? Have things changed? People are like, "No, we need to make this look presentable before we try to sell this."
Yeah, I mean, because of HGTV, a lot of people are more aware. Because curb appeal does have a significant impact on somebody deciding to enter the door of a property, right? If it doesn't look great from the outset, they go, I think I'll pass this one.
Right, exactly.
So yes, what we encourage at BRIA is with BRIA licensed real estate agent. And normally that's one of the things, we'll guide you through the process. Now, when we watch an HGTV, they've already gone through the nuts and bolts of how much it's going to cost to stage. And the reality is some people just don't have that money available. But what I would say is, go on the advice of your realtor to find out what will give you most bang for your buck. While you might not be able to totally renovate, 2 of the bedrooms that you're gonna, hopefully sell, you may certainly be able to just make an investment in whether it's your kitchen, your master bath, which are the 2 driving factors. Once again, curb appeal, sometimes it's just as simple as putting down a few plants and just getting, someone out there to make it look very presentable. Those factors will increase the amount of people who are willing to come and view. You have to get people in your doors, walking through your home. And generally speaking, we say as long as the longer we can keep someone on site, the more they're envisioning themselves in your home, right? And if I can see, I'd like to see if I change this will be perfect. The more you see them doing that, then the more likely you will get an offer on your home.
Are sellers willing to listen? Do you find that?
It depends. I have seen the ones that listen, they see the results right away, which is, is proof in the pudding, right? So it is gratifying to be able to take through, okay, let's do this, because it is, we do it as a partnership approach. We help you as much as we can. And then when we do bring those potential buyers through the doors, it is so gratifying for those offers to come in close to what the sellers want, right?
So I wanted to ask about that. We're running out of time, but you said it's a seller's market.
Yes.
I mean, so people are getting what they're asking for, or are people actually paying more?
It depends on where you are. So, if you are looking in a place like Sandyport where you are looking for vacant land, let's say, let me use that as an example, because it's becoming more and more scarce in Sandyport. Yeah, you're getting over ask.
Wow.
Because there are people clamoring to get in there to make their investment, build something in there because they get great return on their money there. And because it's very few and far between, don't look at just the asking price as the ceiling. A lot of times, I've personally worked with 1 or 2 buyers that went over ask and still sometimes we're not able to get the property that they wanted. Yes. But like I said, it depends on the location, right? Then there are others where, generally speaking, I would say your 10 to 15% within ask is kind of a guideline to work with, right? And sometimes the sellers get it. Yeah.
The good old days when you could talk somebody down a few thousand. That's over for now.
Yeah, well, it just depends on what the supply is, right? It just depends on how many are out there for what you want. You can probably talk them down and get what you want, right?
And generally, how long are things staying on the market?
Well, that's shortening. I would say in the past, I forgot to look at that this time around. In the past, it was about 5 months was the average, right? Now, what we always say to our sellers is if you have been on the market more than 5 months and you have not even gotten someone to walk through your doors, then you need to lower the price. Yeah, it's that simple, right?
People are stubborn around here.
Well, not only that, the market talks. The market talks. And so sometimes we don't want to hear that. So we stay hold firm, and then we just don't sell. But it just really depends on how motivated you are to move your property, right? Yeah.
Nikki Buff, we could talk for 2 more hours, I suspect. So that means you have to come back. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And keep up the great work that you all are doing at Bria.
Thank you.
And I'm Stephen Hanna. That is it for us today. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. I hope you have a great weekend, everybody. I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Maybe surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone. Just wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. And I've been keeping all the letters that I wrote to you. And two, I'm fine, baby, how are you? Well, I would send them, but I know that it's just not enough. My words were cold and flat, and you deserve more than that. Another airplane, another sunny place. I'm lucky, I know, but I wanna go home.